this is Kirby Miri here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to Shin Hayarigami 2 Chapter 3 Idol episode. First of all, it's very good to see y'all again. I hope y'all doing well. Hope y'all having a lovely day, afternoon, night, depending on your time zone. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for taking this moment of your time and watching today's video. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. If you guys enjoy this type of content, be sure to drop the like button. It really helps out a lot. If you're not subscribed to the channel, would appreciate if you do. Also leave your comments and your thoughts on this video or anything in general. And just to give you a quick recap of what happened in the last episode. So after the RUMI MATSUOKA skirt incident, we were at the dressing room. And we were trying to ask Matsuoka who would have done this, but she has no idea. And then we tried to perform a liar's art on her, but unfortunately, our liar's art doesn't work on her because she's answering way too careful, and so I don't know if she knows our intentions or something, but the point is that she avoided our liar's art easily. And then after that, we take the skirt to Professor Kisaragi, who says she was going to analyze it and see whose blood is that or the fingerprints, whatever. And during the investigation, we encounter Inspector Koketsu with someone else, which is the guy who was at the unaliving scene. And it turns out that man is SAKAE Tamade, the man who RUMI MATSUOKA believes that he killed YUKI KANO, and he's the producer. And obviously, he was talking to Inspector Koketsu, and much like Detective Mimi, we learned a little dark secret past from Inspector Koketsu, where apparently he too got demoted to G Prefectural Headquarters because of an incident that happened where he used to be violent against suspects, and particularly gun violence, which is insane to say the least. Obviously, Inspector Koketsu is not like that anymore from the way he's been behaving this whole time. But that sounds like a very troublesome past indeed. And so, anyways, we don't get to know much about him. The point is that after that, we do speak with SAKAE Tamade, and he too believes that RUMI MATSUOKA killed YUKI KANO. So they're like against each other, like enemies and stuff. And so, we try to do a liar's art on him as well, but it doesn't work either. He easily evades it as well. And our character starts to wonder what the is going on. Why is the liar's art not working? But she doesn't have time to hesitate. She still continues the investigation no matter what. And what else? After that, we mostly get food scene stuff and a funny phone call and whatsoever. But then we go meet up with Professor Kisaragi, and she shows us a video about how YUKI KANO died, and we hear these strange noises that are going on in the background. And here's my theory. I believe that YUKI KANO's death was kind of an accident, but at the same time a murder, and I will explain. I believe that a spirit killed YUKI KANO, a spirit that we don't know about. Because how the hell would YUKI KANO just end up in that state where the wires are on her arms, on her legs, and like that? There's no way it could be the equipment failing or whatever. And if it was someone's intention, then they have to be, as Professor Kisaragi said, practically telekinetic to do that. And what kind of thing would be able to do that? A spirit. I don't know, I'm just thinking it from the perspective because I play a spirit hunter. That's my theory, and I guess later on you'll understand why that's my theory, but that's what I have in mind. Anyways, after that, we also talk about the skirt, and it turns out the skirt was not even blood, it was ink, which it was an incredible blood replica, and it was just ink. And so our characters are a bit depressed because they feel like they're being deceived or being tricked and whatsoever, and so they had enough of this bullshit, and they're going to fight back and figure out who the hell is messing with them, who's the culprit, what's the real truth about YUKI KANO's death. And after that, we get a call from the chief director where we talk to him about what happened when he discovers that RUMI MATSUOKA's life is in danger. He was like now making us bodyguards for RUMI MATSUOKA. And then in the end, we come back to the studio and we encounter this old man which he's an acquaintance of SENA. I want you guys to see this scene first, and then I'll explain what's his relationship with SENA. But this man here, his name is Akira Sakaki, I think. Sakaki, I can't pronounce his last name. And so yeah, he has a very deep connection with SENA, which I will explain after you guys see this scene. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the introduction. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and let's get started. Okay. When he notices us, he bows deeply. Oh yeah, he's a very well-behaved gentleman.
His behavior seems old-timey. Do you know him, SENA?
No. Well... As SENA stammers, the old gentleman's face softened with joy. Even his smile was elegant. I love Akira! Akira is such an adorable character as well. Yeah, that's right. He's my grandfather!
Huh? SENA's grandfather?
That's right! I mean, this is troublesome. Hey, Grandpa! SENA walked with big strides and approached the elderly gentleman standing in front of the main entrance. What are you thinking? Coming all the way to the scene of the crime? Despite the fact that he approached him with an intimidating expression that would make someone flinch in fear, the old gentleman remained unfazed and answered with a smile. I know that. I just came to bring your dinner. Master SENA can't be out there at night eating instant food. Master SENA? The old gentleman's unexpected remark made me retort. No matter how I look at it, SENA looks like a punk. But he's a young master? No, that is... Well, you know, that's it! My grandpa has gone a bit senile. Well, you see, he used to work as a butler, and his memories are all mixed up. Gosh, this is troublesome. SENA insisted in a deceptive manner, but the old gentleman doesn't seem senile at all. He bows respectfully to me, unmindful of SENA's abusive language. You must be the master's partner, Nancy Marie, right? I've heard a lot about you. I appreciate you taking care of him. This old gentleman looks just like a butler. And a perfect one at best.
No. It's me who's in debt to SENA here.
Intimidated by the experienced demeanor of the old gentleman, I immediately bowed my head. Come on, Grandpa. We're still working. Just hurry up and go home. Of course, Master. But at least take this meal. Wakata! SENA takes it and mumbles angrily. The wrapping seems to contain his dinner, and he shoves the old man into his nearby parked car and sends him home. After he drives up, SENA lets out a big sigh.
Hey, who was that man? Was he really your grandfather? He looked like an actual butler.
He's not a butler! He's my actual grandfather!
Then how about we do some Myers art?
This isn't the time for that! People, lives are at stake, you know? Let's hurry up and start guarding RUMI MATSUOKA! SENA immediately rushes to the TV station. Well, true, there isn't time to figure out if the old gentleman really is SENA's grandfather or not. I head inside the station myself. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a quick explanation what just happened. So, because I did not translated the DLC of SENA. So, the butler, like I said, his name is Akira Sakaki, and he is SENA's actual butler. The thing is, SENA is... I would say in a literal sense, SENA is Batman. SENA's Bruce Wayne, and the butler is the Bruce Wayne butler. Because the thing is, his family were pretty rich people. And they even have their own company called the Eisen Group. which SENA doesn't want to be a part of. And so after the parents died, which SENA already explained that part of the story, he had family members who came over to take care of him and stuff, but his family really, that part of the family really didn't want him much. They just only wanted him because of his fortune, and that's what caused SENA to be angry and not trust people that much. And so after that, it was just him and the butler, Akira Sakaki. And so he was the one who's been taking care of SENA ever since, and that's why SENA also became a punk, because of how the family had treated him and stuff like that. And then that's when he met the old man he refers to, the one who inspired him to become a cop. But SENA is a rich motherfucker, and the dude is his butler, and they live in a mansion. I would compare the mansion to the Kujo mansion from Death War. That's how big the mansion is. I kid you not. And but he has his own company called the Eisen Group. There are different, I think they're like apartments or hotels and stuff like that too. But he doesn't want to be a part of any of that, because he thinks that people, like, he kind of doesn't want to tell our main character his true self, because he thinks that she will only like him because of his fortune and not for him, which is not true. We absolutely adore SENA for who he is, but that's his fear. He doesn't want to tell anyone that he's a rich motherfucker, because then they're gonna think that they're gonna like. He thinks that they're going to only like him because he's a rich motherfucker. So yeah, that kind of is the gist in there. So yeah. He is a pretty rich dude. He's literally Bruce Wayne. The butler is Bruce Wayne's butler. Okay, anyways, I'm done giving you the explanation, and the reason why I'm explaining is because I didn't get the chance to translate the DLC, so that's why I'm letting you know by now. Anyways, let's continue. Relying on information from the event organizers and staff, we finally spotted RUMI MATSUOKA in the dining hall. She was sitting quietly at a separate table on which were several pieces of paper. She's carefully examining each one, taking a look at each of them, but the moment she sees us, a look of obvious disgust appears on her doll-like face.
You guys again. Don't you have things to do?
She clears the papers she had spread out on the table and puts them in a folder.
That SAKAE Tamade still hanging around the TV station. He's the culprit. Didn't I told you to arrest him?
That can't be done until the charges have been solidified. Tamade can't be arrested solely on RUMI MATSUOKA's word.
We didn't come here this time to explain. We didn't come here this time to explain the situation. Huh? What do you mean?
In order to not upset RUMI MATSUOKA, I carefully explained to her about us being assigned as her bodyguards.
The bloody handprints on the white skirts were the result of some kind of prank. Since that's the case, it means someone's trying to harm you. With that possibility in mind, the chief director assigned us to be your bodyguards.
Half a lie. I know her as well as Tamade. The reason I accepted this job this time is to also gather information from her. Though it's also possible that she could be targeted by someone. Whether RUMI MATSUOKA is the culprit or not, we cannot overlook the loss of a human life.
I don't need it.
However, RUMI MATSUOKA flatly rejected the offer as if it were treating her like a nuisance. But hey, that's not our fault. If you have a problem, then tell that to the chief director, not us. We can't do anything about it. We're doing our job.
You could have just simply arrested Tamade. You let a criminal run loose, and now you're here to protect me? Bullcrap.
It's common for security guards to be present at concerts and other events, and a top idol like her would be used to being protected all day. Especially after the incident earlier. It wouldn't be unusual for her to feel like her life is in danger. Why is she so adamant of refusing protection? Is it possible RUMI MATSUOKA is hiding something? That seems sussy for sure.
I'm I'm guessing he thinks I'm hiding something and wants to force the police to guard me.
Nuh-uh. Did you tell her they was the chief? It seems she sensed that she's being suspected.
You really don't get it, do you? Well, let me clear it out for you. Tonight, I've been asked to perform Yuki Kano's new song as a tribute to her. Huh? Really? Yeah. A special program from Utabancho. It's going to be broadcast nationwide. It's been decided that it will start at 11 p.m. So I have to memorize the binding and the lyrics to do that. But I can't do that with detectives in the way.
I see. So the documents she had spread out earlier contained the scripts and lyrics. That's fine. If that's the issue, then we can just leave you alone. Just keep an eye on you, but we keep our distance so you can practice. That's who the Oh my god.
The staff and I are all nervous, and it's annoying to have you hanging around because you're new to the industry.
Rumi Matsuoka sings a new song by the late Yuki Kano. Something's bound to happen tonight. My intuition tells me so. This is alarming. Contrary to her strong attitude, Rumi Matsuoka looks gloomy. Is she feeling frustrated? This is a different state from the previous state of fear and agitation, but the lethargic and languid state is a time when a person is vulnerable in a different way. I still don't know what she's hiding, but it's possible she may be open-minded now.
Matsuoka, is something bothering you?
What?
You're going to act... What? You're going to act like a pretentious counselor now? Do detectives even do those sort of things?
In a sense, you could say that's Flyer's art. Although its direction is different, it's still about reading the other person's mind and getting them to open up.
Think whatever you want, but I can tell.
Let me save up for a sec. Okay, let's go. Okay, you're feeling guilt, dissatisfaction, fear.
Are you feeling some sort of guilt for singing Yuki Kano's new song? Guilt, huh? I guess. It was a song written by Yuki. I don't feel good about it because it feels like I've stolen something original that belongs to her. This may sound like an excuse, but it was decided without my knowledge. But if you think about it the other way around, I think that by singing the songs I wanted to sing but couldn't, it might be a motivation enough to pay tribute to Yuki Kano. I guess it would be more accurate to say that I'm really not in the mood for it. But if it's been decided, I have no choice but to do it, right?
It's been revealed that the special program was unilaterally decided by the television station and her agency. At the very least, it's not like Rumi Matsuoka stole Yuki Kano's new song out of her own volition. If that even is true. Objectively speaking, Rumi Matsuoka is in a position to benefit from Yuki Kano's death, and there are also a possibility that she intentionally took it away from her. So, how should I get the truth out of that? Yuki Kano's here. I don't think Tamade would allow that. Won't that hurt your pride? Tamade.
Well, I can't imagine Tamade would give permission for you to use Yuki Kano's song. You don't think so? Tamade's the one organizing the whole event.
Uh-oh. So that means he's gonna do something to her.
I'm sure as long as it becomes a topic of conversation, that's enough. Whether it's Yuki or me, as long as the numbers come in, that's enough. What a terrible man. If Yuki's really that important to him, he should have done whatever it took to cancel the event.
Well, that didn't work again.
Hey, are we done here? Like I said, I want to focus on memorizing the scripts and lyrics.
I tried Liar's Art the opposite way, but it still didn't give results. Is RUMI MATSUOKA never going to take off that idol mask, no matter the circumstances? Usually just being questioned by a detective would make one a little shaken, but as expected of a first-class idol, she remains composed.
Either way, it's still dangerous. Various situations can happen, and you need security. Gosh, so persistent. I told you I don't need it.
No matter how hard we try to persuade RUMI MATSUOKA, she stubbornly refuses.
If I were to die, then remember that the culprit is Tamade.
RUMI MATSUOKA stands from her chair and tries to leave.
Matsuoka! Wait! Oh, Matsuoka, good evening!
Just as she's about to leave, other idols appear in front of RUMI MATSUOKA.
Gosh, I'm so hungry already. Yeah, let's grab something to eat.
For a moment, RUMI MATSUOKA glances at us, a suspicious smile on her face, like a child who's about to prank someone. Uh-oh.
Hey girls,
These two over here will treat us to a meal!
Really? For realsies? Let's hurry!
RUMI MATSUOKA's using these girls to get away from us. The girls immediately rush to us and we're surrounded in no time.
No way! Are you the girls from Sora and Daichi Girls Band?
Huh?
Huh? You don't know? How ignorant can you be about the entertainment industry?
SENA's voice echoed throughout the dining hall.
Sorry.
I was also surprised when you didn't know who Yuki Kano nor RUMI MATSUOKA were neither. They are local idols that G Prefecture's proud of. The Sora and Daichi Girls! Oh my god, this music! The Sora and Daichi Girls were formed as a project led by G Newspaper and a local company called N Company. Listen, the Sora to Daichi Girls mean space, and Kei Migahara City in G Prefecture is famous for its aerospace industry. First of all, is it even wise to talk right now? RUMI MATSUOKA's like escaping! Oh my god. Also, this song is kind of fire! Okay. They revitalized the local area of G Prefecture through the universe and fertile land, and through the bonds between people. And the way they want to expand that circle from G Prefecture to all of Japan, and even so as far as to reach space. That's their grand wish. This song is fire!
I see.
But now's not the time to listen to the idol's history. Exactly! We have to chase after RUMI MATSUOKA. But we're completely surrounded by idols who are desperately hungry for some food.
Is that the meal? Come on, I'm starving! I want to eat already!
Hold on, let me turn on my camera. Look at SENA! The Sora and Daichi Girls encircled us, leaving no room for air. Hey, wait! Don't come any closer! Wait!
RUMI MATSUOKA's strategy was perfect, as SENA doesn't know how to deal with women. He's completely flustered.
But these are girls! They're not women! You can have this!
SENA sacrifices the bag that the old gentleman had given him earlier. Oh my god! The girls mercilessly snatch the bag and begin to unwrap it. The glossy wooden lacquered box decorated with a pine, bamboo, and plum motif. That alone is amazing, but... What? Wow! The moment the lid was opened, a dazzling light was released. What is this? A powerful box with magic food? Of course, it was an optical illusion, but the 3-tier box was stunningly luxurious.
What is this? It looks like a New Year's food!
It's not a New Year's food. It's bento.
What are you talking about? There's no way such a luxurious lunch exists. By the way, how many people is this intended to be served?
Hey, don't you remember SN's Cookie Monster? I know SN's a big eater, but it doesn't seem just like one portion. I don't know.
I know your grandpa said it's dinner, but what kind of dinner is this?
Hey, are you serious right now? Fine, I'll explain. First, the course consists of charcoal grilled fillet sweet fish, salt grilled sweet fish, and sweet fish tempura. Do we even have time to talk about this? RUMI MATSUOKA is gone! It looks like sweet fish, but it seems to contain different types of fish as well. This one is fried loach, and this one is a river puffer fish. What? What did he just say? Is he for real?
What are you saying? You can't catch a puffer fish in a river.
River puffer fish means a catfish.
Catfish?
I didn't know that. These are channel catfish kept in as Professor Kotori Dam Lake and are called river puffer fish because they are as tasty as a puffer fish. The channel catfish or whatever doesn't really sound Japanese, let alone G from G Prefecture. SENA says so, but I guess the ingredient has some sort of connection in G Prefecture. This here is a ninoji. This is just a ham and vegetables. There are more vegetables than ham, likely with consideration for nutritional balance. The second tier contains vegetables and ham. Naturally, all the vegetables are grown in G Prefecture. The ham's made using both M. Takara ham and M. Ho ham. Pretty awesome!
I don't understand what's so different about it.
Both villages have the same origin, but there was a dispute over whether to expand sales outside the village. And one of them even changed the name of their village. There's no feud between them anymore. In fact, some people say it was a good thing that they split up and competed. The song is so fire! Keep it up! Woo! Both M. Takara ham and M. Ho ham only use the domestic pork, so they are premium pressed hams. Amazing, right?
That's so. So there are stories like that surrounding a ham? Come to think of it, I've never eaten premium pressed ham. No, the song ended. Whoops, I guess we took too long in the conversation. Oh no, it just keeps going! Yeah! There's also something shaped like Mount Fuji. I wonder what's that?
Here we have karasumi.
Huh? Do bento meals in G Prefecture come with such high-class delicacies?
Not necessarily. Karasumi is a sweet meal.
A sweet meal? Now that he mentions it, it doesn't look so high class. I've never seen something look like the Mount Fuji. Apparently it's made from rice flour. There are many different types, including white ones, green ones with mugwort in them, and ones with walnuts as well. Damn! What the f***?
Next, sanohe. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, this looks decent. Yellowtail, kelp, shiitake mushroom, chestnut, rice.
Don't be selfish. This is meant to represent marching out to battle. Uri is a fish that grows with success. Kelp means to be happy. And shiitake mushrooms look like a battle hat, you know?
Ah, now that he mentions it, at first glance it doesn't seem to have anything to do with G Prefecture, but I guess it's unified with the image of a battle. Is this a dinner based on G Prefecture? What the hell? Come to think of it, the famous battle was Esquihara in G Prefecture, so the image represents battle. Guys, we're never gonna go chase RUMI MATSUOKA!
Don't you get it, Nettie? They're all made with local ingredients, mainly from G Prefecture.
This is the best! My cheeks are going to fall out!
Which cheeks? The upper or the bottom? But those idols are the ones who get to eat it. They look like a bunch of piranhas or even an army of ants. Their cute and innocent appearances really doesn't do justice with their ferocious appetites. They're literally Kirby's. All that delicious food was gone in no time.
Phew! Thank you for your hard work! Come on, Sora and Daichi girls! Time to go!
Suddenly they begin to sing like a fairy tale as a thanks. It was as if a concert had been going on here. Is this the real world? I pinch myself. Ouch. Yep, this is reality. Whoa! Is that a new song? You're singing it just for us? Beautiful! SENA seems excited. As for me, I couldn't keep up with this craziness and lost some brain cells. I couldn't get into it!
After they sing us a song as thanks, the Sora and Daichi girls disappear.
Whew! If I hadn't had that lunch, we would have been dragged outside.
The grandpa saved our asses in no time. SENA seems proud, but he doesn't realize that far from being a military achievement, it's actually a huge blunder.
Hey, SENA? Where's RUMI Matsuoka?
Huh?
SENA was so engrossed in listening to the idols and bragging about Bento that RUMI Matsuoka was already far gone. I know, right? We just wasted stupid time. Oh, there's a time limit. Regarding the matter of the SP that was almost hushed up, after some discussion with RUMI Matsuoka's manager, it was decided that official security would be provided. Now, in order to respect RUMI Matsuoka's wishes, there was no guarding her closely. We had to guard her from a distance away, which would have been fine in the first place. To be honest, it ended up being more of a surveillance than protection, but the request itself is not binding. In order to avoid any further friction, I decided to accept it. RUMI Matsuoka was still quite reluctant, but after some persuasion from her manager, she reluctantly agreed. At this loss, a strange phenomenon occurred within the station. What? There's something... Let me show you guys. There's something on the floor. What the f***? When we arrived at the scene, the studio had a chaotic atmosphere. Everyone seemed confused by the sudden strange phenomenon, and work had come to a halt.
Nani?
At the front stage was RUMI Matsuoka, wearing a black dress to commemorate YUKI KANO. She glares at someone with an unusually stern look on her face. A few meters away next to the large camera, SAKAE TAMADE was standing there in a daze. Even the seasoned producer looks pale in comparison, a strange phenomenon that's unfolding before his very eyes. Strange. Did RUMI Matsuoka do this? Oh my. And when he looked closely, he saw several pieces of equipment lying at his feet. Tamade's face is frozen and pale.
Tamade! What on earth is going on here? Can you please explain the situation?
According to him, apparently the equipment flew away while he was preparing to shoot. It didn't just topple or fall, but it literally flew over? What?
It's true! This camera came flying right at me!
Apparently the camera is an old piece of equipment that was no longer in use and was supposed to be sleeping in the back of a warehouse. Then it came flying towards Tamade. This was confirmed by other staff members who were present as well as RUMI Matsuoka. So... if it's an old TV, then RUMI Matsuoka must have brought it out, but the fact that it flew? What did she do to make it fly?
Oh, that's it. A poltergeist phenomenon is definitely happening.
Poltergeist? I've heard of it before. They make things float or move, right?
That's right. It isn't just moving things, but also sounds of things being hit, lights, flashing, and even fire. Poltergeist is a German word, but in Japanese it roughly means noisy ghost.
Naruhodo. It definitely seems like some sort of poltergeist development, but...
So, does this poltergeist phenomenon occur by deliberately selecting an unused camera and move it?
Huh?
That's right. This camera is no longer in use. In other words, it's equipment that wouldn't fall apart even if it was damaged.
There's cameras everywhere, but they went out of their way to pull out equipment that had been dorming in the back of the warehouse. Don't you wonder why?
No, obviously. Don't vent your anger on me. Vent it on whoever caused the poltergeist.
So, this is not a supernatural phenomenon, but an artificial phenomenon. They're deliberately choosing equipment that will not affect the shooting, which means the intruder is likely inside this industry. Or it was RUMI Matsuoka's doing. I glance towards RUMI Matsuoka and see how she's doing. Oh, she changed her outfit.
What is this? What is happening?
Her gaze remains bullish towards Tamade, but she also looks somewhat frightened. Could it be possible that she was the one who set it up? But then why does she look so frightened? Is he pretending? I don't know.
I can't believe something like this happened before even the show started!
It seems his excitement hasn't died down though. He's still speaking and keeping his head high, even though his voice is trembling. But there's still something missing that stops me from believing everything he says. Like RUMI Matsuoka, this man knows something and is hiding it. What on earth does he know? I need to find out. Perhaps now, with his state of fear.
Tamade, can you give us more details about this incident?
Sure.
I believe this thing was aimed towards you, at you.
What? Could it be the same for the phone call?
Okay, first of all, we succeeded in instilling fear in Tamade. Now to incite the fear even more. Here's the thing, we're not gonna choose. Because it's a waste of time. Because all of these choices are terrible. Yuki Kano's curse, Matsuoka's revenge, the We're not gonna choose. We're wasting time.
No, that's impossible! It must be someone's pranks, of course it is!
While I was trying to decide how to provoke him, Tamade had already regained composure. See? That's why. The provocations failed. Tamade's not fooled that easily.
But Tamade, enough already! At such an important time! What's wrong with you?
Tamade glares at me, not hiding his irritation. I can't continue at Liar's Art like this. Although I've set up Liar's Art, I wasn't able to get anything out of him. Why? What on earth could such a seemingly careless man be trying to hide? Time limit again. With the live broadcast approaching, the director is checking the monitors with a serious expression and giving instructions to the cameraman. Staff members roam around the studio freely while the only person on the stage is the announcer, who's also the host, keeping an eye on cue cards and following the performers.
What was that just now?
The next phenomenon happened to RUMI Matsuoka, who was checking the lyrics on stage. When we rush to the stage, she collapses onto the floor. Ooh! Did Tamade do that? Looking closely, the hem of her black dress was torn into shreds. There were a few red streaks on her legs, as if it had been scratched by something.
Daijoubu desu ka, Matsuoka-san? Can you stand up? A sudden strong wind blew and I felt a sudden pain.
Looking to the side of the studio, I see a large fan used for special effects that was shut down by several staff members.
Did someone use that blower? No, I didn't see anyone.
We approached the fan to take a closer look, but when we asked to step around us, none of them remember installing it.
Perhaps it's Kamaitaichi.
Are you talking about the phenomenon where your body suddenly cuts?
That's right. Kamaitaichi is said to be a monster that appears on a whirlwind. And if you encounter one, it will knock you down and give you cuts that don't bleed.
Thinking about it, RUMI Matsuoka did fell on stage and there were no signs of bleeding from the injury. The appearance resembles well with Kamaitaichi.
In other words, the wind that was generated by that fan turned into a Kamaitaichi and attacked RUMI Matsuoka.
I don't know.
To begin with, it's impossible to artificially create Kamaitaichi. This is because the exact cause of Kamaitaichi outbreaks have not yet been fully explained. The conventional wisdom is that it is caused by a vacuum created by the wind, but it has also been suggested that it is caused by stirred up sand, or even just an exaggerated case of chafed skin. It's impossible to artificially create something whose principles are unknown. In other words, it's impossible for something to be artificial. Could it be Tamade then?
I mean, that fan was obviously placed there artificially.
Understandable.
This time, the victim is RUMI MATSUOKA. In other words, the person who might have done this was Tamade.
Oh boy, what on earth is going on?
He also seems confused of the situation. So, it was not Tamade?
Is this a paranormal festival tonight? Seriously, please stop.
With the performance fast approaching, a loud scream from Tamade comes by. It seems like he was checking the equipment in the studio.
Tamade! What is it?
It was a strange sight. What? Fireballs were flying around the studio. There were too many to count. There must be more than 10 of these. Tamade collapsed his back, sagging, and stared at the fireballs with his mouth open.
What is this? Fire?
No. It's a will-o-wisp. Ghost and fire, that sort of thing. They're said to be the souls of the dead, or fairies, or spirits. They're said to lead people astray or lead them down to dangerous paths.
Could it really be a will-o-wisp? Is that even possible? The will-o-wisp wandered around the studio for a while, then suddenly vanished.
They're gone?
Damn it! Why? Why is this happening to me?
Oh, you guys, I haven't seen you guys in a minute, and glad you're back together because you were separated for a while. After noticing the series of strange phenomena happening one after the other, Inspector Koketsu and Detective Nimi rushed to the studio.
What was that just now?
It seems Detective Nimi also witnessed this phenomenon. As someone who completely denies the existence of the supernatural, it must have been an incomprehensible sight to him.
I won't forgive her. At such an important time. I will never forgive her.
Tamade glared in disgust at the direction where the will-o-wisp had been flying. That low voice. It sounded eerie. It sounds almost like a sutra being chanted.
What on earth is happening? Huh? Since when did you decide to change your mind? Shit. You suddenly now believe in the paranormal phenomena?
Inspector Koketsu calls Detective Nimi out.
No, I just... Shit. Listen. It doesn't matter what happens. We're just doing our jobs as detectives.
Yeah, sure, keep on ignoring it.
So, Natty, do you have any idea what kind of trickery this is?
If I'm being honest, this one takes the cake.
The stage ceiling, lighting, etc. are hung, but there's scaffolding installed to allow people access the stage.
If we hang fireballs or something resembling to it from that platform with a string and move it, we can create the phenomena that we just saw.
The problem is, to move that many will-o-wisps, you need a certain number of people. Is it even possible to move that many? Even if RUMI MATSUOKA were to cause this phenomena, it would be impossible for her to do it alone. Even if she had help with that many people in charge, they would have been noticed no matter what.
I I do wonder how they did that though.
We look around the area carefully.
Damn. Who knows what's going to happen next?
Right.
SAKAE, TAMADE, or RUMI MATSUOKA. Either they're the culprit or being targeted. I glance over to RUMI MATSUOKA on stage, where she's making her final adjustments with the announcer. Now that she's been given the most important role, her headstrong personality has completely changed and now has a prayer expression on her face. A long white dress was hastily prepared as a replacement for the torn dress. The scratches she had received earlier were all covered up. What about SAKAE Tamade? He's just having a meet with the director. I don't see any strange behavior.
I checked the equipment and there were no problems. I didn't notice anyone acting strange either. How about you?
Same.
Both Inspector Kokotsu and Detective Nimi are also looking around with sharp gazes. How could the perpetrator have caused all these mysterious phenomena with eyes watching all sides? Is this something that really can't be explained with science?
No, that's impossible.
This can be scientifically based. We shouldn't simply dismiss it as a supernatural phenomenon, but there must be some kind of human intervention involved.
There's only 30 minutes left until the performance. We need to find out the cause quickly.
Perhaps because of the tension, my skin was damp and sweat. There are no strange events on both SAKAE Tamade and RUMI MATSUOKA. I glance away from the stage for a moment, towards the door. There are no particular entrances and exits.
What now?
What was that sound?
A harsh, high-pitched sound resounded in my ears.
A sound this time. The sound itself
appears to be coming from the speakers inside the studio.
Ah! Shut it up! What the hell is that?
It's calm down now. Compared to the strange phenomena we've seen up until now, this is pretty mild.
This goes without saying. The noise was just a prank or a misadjusted speaker. Thinking that, I look back at the stage where something unexpected happened.
You're kidding!
To everyone's surprise, RUMI MATSUOKA and all the staff work on the stage collapsed on the spot.
MATSUOKA! Everyone! What's going on?
We, Inspector Kokotsu and Detective Nimi, and the rest of the people who were off the stage seemed to be safe, but were perplexed by what we saw on the stage. Me and SENA, Inspector Kokotsu and Detective Nimi, were the first to run onto the stage, picking up the fallen people and check their conditions. I ran over to RUMI MATSUOKA and checked to see if she was conscious.
MATSUOKA! Please be careful! What? Detective?
RUMI MATSUOKA looks at me with a dazed look on her face. It seems she's realized she just fainted.
The others are fine too. They just lost consciousness temporarily.
Just as SENA said, the people who had collapsed were also fine. Afterwards, Inspector Kokotsu, Detective Nimi, and the rest of the staff members who were unharmed split up to provide care, and it was confirmed that everyone was safe.
We fell? I've heard a strange noise, and then...
What does this mean?
The phenomenon itself. It's very similar to mass fainting incident.
Mass fainting incident? For example, an incident in which a group of elementary school students at the school suddenly collapsed on the road, or a specific group of people fainting without warning. There are rumors that it is a mass hysteria, or the work of evil spirits or aliens, but the truth remains unknown. That's strange.
So Natty, putting that aside, what do you think this trickery might be this time?
If I had to say, the noise we heard before was pretty suspicious, but how could something like that make a group faint? Sound hypnosis? No, hypnosis isn't that simple. Otherwise we all have to be unconscious. What kind of tricks could this culprit be using? Either way, things aren't going well. Tonight's live broadcast is in danger.
This is escalating. This definitely needs to be stopped. Right now.
Yeah, I think so too. There won't just be injured people. There could be fatalities. You're right. It's something we should consider just in case.
Detective Nimi, who seems to be frowning, agrees with us.
Wow, and unusual. We're all on the same page. I have no intentions of believing in the paranormal phenomenon, but unexpected incidents have occurred one after the other. We must prevent any further damage.
Inspector Koketsu seems to agree as well.
But just so you know, Masaomi seems to be thinking highly of you guys, but I don't. So don't get carried just because we have the same opinions.
Did you just say I?
Oh, shut up! I didn't say that! Look at that adorable face! I'll talk to the people in charge of the program.
In this situation, it would be better for Inspector Koketsu, who's the oldest and highest in rank, to negotiate. Naturally, I had no objections and I bow my head.
Thank you for your work.
Wait a minute!
A commanding voice shouted out from behind us.
Huh? Huh?
SENA has a murderous look on his face as soon as he sees Chief Tanaka. His clothes and hairstyles are always the same, but the spirit he has in him is different. Maybe it's because of that, because he looks perfectly dressed. He wasn't sweating like the usual, and there's even refreshing citrus scent floating around.
Chief Tanaka?
Koketsu, leave this situation to me. Huh? What are you talking about, old man? What's with this music? Don't just come out of nowhere and say you're going to fix this. Besides, be careful with how you talk to me. I am still the chief of the 1st Investigative Division. What good am I if I'm unable to do something like this?
Chief?
What's with that face, Marie? It's alright. You guys just wait here for a moment. He taps me on the shoulder. What the f***? Who is this?
I mean, this should be how it feels, as Chief Tanaka's words and attitude looks trustworthy and really represents the ideal boss.
Is that alright, Koketsu? Koketsu's smiling. Well, you're the one who's the leader in charge, Chief Tanaka. You're more qualified than me in terms of position. That's right. Please wait here. What the hell? Chief Tanaka strides briskly onto the stage and approaches the man who appears to be the director of the TV station. I can't believe it. It's actually kind of cool. He's always been lazy and likes to avoid responsibility, so seeing him act like an actual chief for the first time feels heartwarming. Good job, Chief.
I guess they don't call the chief of the 1st Investigative Division for nothing.
A few meters away, Chief Tanaka exchanges words with the director. A dignified manner that doesn't seem to be giving in to the opponent. His expression was filled with confidence and pride, signifying successful negotiation. This must be the true nature of Ichiro Tanaka, the chief of the 1st Investigative Division.
Thank you for your hard work, Chief Tanaka.
So, how was it? Are they going to cancel the show? We were looking up to him with respect! What are you talking about? It's impossible! I knew it!
Say what? Impossible? Impossible?
Listen, the director over there is apparently on good terms with the deputy director and the governor. We were only asked to cooperate with security to prevent any further accidents from happening. So, nice knowing you all. Chief Tanaka taps the side of his cheek with his right hand and sticks out the tip of his tongue. What? Excuse me? Yo, what? 1 second, my own.
A murderous intent rose up within me.
Pop! What do you mean?
After Chief Tanaka's failed negotiation, Inspector Koketsu also tried to settle the matter, but the TV station's intentions did not change. Yeah, it's not Chief Tanaka's doing, it's these assholes doing. The live broadcast will continue as scheduled. 5 minutes before the show, Rumi Matsuoka slowly approaches us.
Finally, the time has come.
Without saying anything, she began to speak. Her gaze was fixed straight ahead, on the stage she's about to head to, the battlefield of her own. SENA takes a deep breath, a determined look on his face.
Are you planning to go like this? I'm not trying to be negative, but after everything...
I'm Rumi Matsuoka. If I were to run away, I wouldn't have accepted this in the first place. Matsuoka, people are finding the panic entertaining. I think viewers are hoping something will happen. Huh?
Matsuoka had a faint smile on her face. Has she made up her mind? Or is she trembling with fear behind that mask? Or is she gonna do something? That's the question. In any case, I question the sanity of trying to start a live program under these circumstances. Have the people in the entertainment industry somehow abandoned their sense of ethics? Rumi, please stand by! Urged by the staff, Rumi Matsuoka rushes onto the stage. Okay, so we are kind of approaching the ending. There's absolutely no hesitation from her. An announcer appears in front of a huge panel of fresh flowers, and Yuki Kano, filling the field with images, and mourns her untimely death. Artists who had close relationships with Yuki Kano during her lifetime share special anecdotes and remember her as she was. Live footage being shown on the screen, looking back at her achievements. And then, Rumi Matsuoka shows up on stage. Several cameras capture her.
I'm Rumi Matsuoka. Today is the day my junior, Yuki Kano, who passed away the other day.
Rumi Matsuoka speaks quietly through the microphone. As she delivers her eulogy, a silence fills the studio. Everyone bows their heads and listens. Rumi Matsuoka has tears in her eyes. She occasionally would choke up on her words, but she continues to speak earnestly. She was truly a good senior who cared about her junior. But I can't tell if it's an act for a made for TV, or if these are her true feelings. Judging from her expression, it could be sincere, but it could also be that same mask. Excuse me, jeez.
Now, please listen. I will be performing Yuki's last song that she left behind. Last song.
She puts the microphone on the back of she puts the microphone back on the microphone stand. People begin to signal. The lights on stage turn off. White smoke made from dried ice was released from below, and as the intro to Yuki Kano's final song begins, the spotlight was focused on Rumi Matsuoka. The music is starting. Ooh. I know what's about to happen.
What? What is that voice?
You're kidding, right?
Rumi Matsuoka looks confused on the stage. Even though there's no one singing, the singing continues.
This is Yuki Kano's voice. Hey, Natty, look over there. It's just going on its own. It's not me typing or anything. Yo, what?
It wasn't Rumi Matsuoka he was looking at. Next to her, a vague white figure of a young girl appeared. She appears to be projected in the white smoke. Yuki Kano herself. What the hell? Is that her ghost? What is going on? The girl who emerged in white continued to sing. Yuki Kano. The way she sings with such sincerity overlaps with the beauty I saw in those photos taken at the scene of her death. Hey, what's going on? sorry. I think I can press now.
Commercial! Commercial! You idiot! Why would we miss such a good shot? Keep the camera rolling!
Shouts echoed throughout the studio, from those in favor for commercial and those opposed to it. The situation around us is chaotic as various intentions and thoughts are all mixed up. In an instant, the studio is dominated by screams and shouts from the staff and everyone around. Control has been completely lost in the panic.
Seriously? The ghost of Yuki Kano's perfectly captured on screen. This is a live broadcast nationwide, right? What do we do about this?
The situation is no longer under control.
This is ridiculous! Masaomi! Is this actually happening? Oh my god, right! I forgot that these two were there too! Kokatsu's in shock. I think he believes in the supernatural in the sense, but he just doesn't want to appear like a fool? I don't know. Kokatsu's in shock, I could tell. This is a trick! Someone must have planted an image! Otherwise this wouldn't be happening! Detective Mimi is distraught at the sight of the situation. He tries to explain this scientifically, but this only makes it seem more like a strange phenomenon. Ooh! As soon as the song ends, the girl in white disappears. The one we all found ourselves confused. And suddenly, everything grows quiet as if a tombstone dropped on us. Oh my god! None of us are still able to process what had just happened. We're still probably in a state of shock. Among them, the one who was shocked the most was RUMI Matsuoka. Her knees have gone completely numb, and she sits down. What are those unfocused eyes looking at? However, no one called out to her, and she remained motionless, in a daze. No one dared to speak up. Even her personal manager watches from afar. Matsuoka! Please stay strong! Yuki! What is she? Gently shaking her shoulders, RUMI Matsuoka looks at me with an indescribable look in her eyes. I have a feeling she will tell me the truth now. Matsuoka, can you please tell me the truth? Regarding the death of Yuki Kano, if things continue as they are, then what's happened here may be dismissed as a malicious fabrication. If you truly wish to honor Yuki Kano's memory, then please tell us the truth. I knew from the moment we met that her talent was real. I was in the lead, but I knew that Yuki would have overtaken me soon. Naruhodo. Then the emotions presenting here must have been all this music. You were probably jealous, you were scared, you were jealous. And this is the final ISR that will work.
You've been jealous of Yuki Kano's talent after all.
I won't directly ask her if she killed Yuki Kano, because I want to hear from her.
To be honest, I was jealous. But there's no point in begging for someone else's talent. But then I thought Yuki Kano should take the top idol position from now on.
Oh yeah, I should probably change the camera area.
I felt like Yuki shouldn't just be working in the small framework of Japan, but that she should spread her wings and go out into the world. Ever since we work in the same production company, Yuki has looked up to me like an older sister, and that made me really happy. Although I've said many harsh things to her as her older sister and senior, I was only trying to teach her what she needed to know to survive in the entertainment industry. Yuki was too innocent. That's why I had to teach her the horrors of the entertainment industry. And as for this new song, she consulted with me about it many times, that she wanted to try on her own, competing with a song that she wrote and composed herself. This was a long-held dream of Yuki's. After a long discussion between her, Tamade, and the office, her chance finally came. Yuki wrote the lyrics and composed the music for her new song. Last song. This was supposed to be the debut of the fallen Japanese singing boss.
Why did a child have to die? I'm sure Tamade was the one who did it. That man killed Yuki. If Yuki had become independent, he would have been in trouble himself. Plus, he was the first to discover her corpse. How convenient for him!
So for Tamade, you planted the phone call, you caused the will-o-wisp, you pasted the handprint on the skirt. The will-o-wisp. I mean the phone call, excuse me.
So it was you who planted the call pretending to be Yuki Kano?
Yeah. I was doing everything I could to get him to fuss up. Yuki Kano's murder is SAKAE Tamade! Lies!
When Tamade was called out by RUMI MATSUOKA, he lets out an angry voice. His face was wet with tears, his eyes red as he rejects her accusation.
How could you say such ridiculous things? Me murdering Yuki? There's no way I would ever do something like that.
Seeing Tamade let out a heart-wrenching cry made me reconsider. Until now, I had thought that RUMI MATSUOKA and SAKAE Tamade were both just acting to hide their true feelings towards Yuki Kano. So RUMI MATSUOKA wasn't acting, she was being honest. So, is it possible it was Tamade? Either way, I can't decide yet. I'll perform my liar's art on Tamade next.
When I met Yuki, I was convinced. I knew this girl was going to be a star in the future. She was way ahead of RUMI MATSUOKA. I didn't have the ability to help her soar. I would have ruined her talent with my own abilities. I wish I could have made her shine with my own hands. But Yuki's an artist who was beyond Japan. I should have gone to the world. There's no way I could take that away from her. She had more dreams than I ever could have hoped for.
I need to confirm whether Tamade really cared about Yuki Kano. In that case, about the dispute over the lyrics, it seems like you were planning to use her to the fullest. Was it worth the loss?
What about the dispute with Yuki Kano about the lyrics?
That's a given. When it comes to songwriting, Yuki was still a novice. If you want to aim high, quality of course is required. So I advised her to study with an expert. Yuki's will was strong, so she was stubborn about it, which was a behavior I've never seen in her before. So I decided to support her. Yuki, with all my heart. Oh my god, you're gonna make me cry! Oh, that's so pretty. Oh.
Yuki Kano was said to be very happy. She was recognized by Tamade, who was also her foster father. Oh my god, yeah, that's right, I keep forgetting that. Oh my god! He worked with her hard on writing lyrics and composing music. In between his busy schedule, after 6 months, the new song, Last Song, was finally completed.
It was her dream. She herself said that this studio is the best place to make her dreams come true. I was so happy. Even though she would no longer be with me, she still loved me. We had vowed to make this show a success, but...
Tamade's bloodshot eyes were wide.
Well, why did Yuki end up dying like that before her dream came true?
The first person who discovered was her foster father, and that makes it all more sad, guys. Oh. Sakae Tamade himself. I can't imagine how shocked and saddened he must have been.
There's been too much speculation, but there's no way she unalived herself.
Nah.
This was a murder. There can only be one person who fears and resents her talent. The anxiety of being dragged down from the top position. The jealousy and hatred towards juniors whose talents that they don't have. I'm sure it was RUMI MATSUOKA!
He still suspects it's RUMI MATSUOKA. In that case... red handprint.
So the red handprint was your doing?
That's right. It was a bit of a struggle to get fake blood that looked like real blood, but thanks to that I was able to really scare her.
Fake blood that looks like real blood? So it wasn't ink after all? Wait, what? Fake blood? And why did it say it was ink? I think I have an idea, but...
There's no excuse for this, RUMI. You killed Yuki!
Liarzar has finally revealed the truth about the incident. The two of them argue that one or the other is the culprit, insulting each other. I stare at them for a moment and slowly close my eyes. Both of their confessions are true, but there's only one answer that can be derived from that. We're going with detective logic, by the way. I should probably change the camera. Okay. Sakae Tamade and Yuki Kano. What was the relationship between these two? Okay. 1 second about that. Okay, her relationship with Sakae Tame, he made a vow for her. I hope that's right. And with RUMI MATSUOKA, what was her relationship? Jealousy, security, New Year's cuisine. This one wanted her to spread her wings and fly out into the world. The rest of the blanks. Okay, so Yuki Kano herself unaliving. This is accident. Okay. Then Sakae Tamade is first who discovered her corpse. I think that's it. And then RUMI MATSUOKA, top idol. Top idol. I think there's also some fill-in blanks for Detective Mimi and Koketsu. Let's start with Koketsu. Koketsu is... What was Koketsu? We got Superintendent Gun Violence, Ethics, Masculine Team Lead, and Troy. I think it's this. And then... Detective Mimi, Superintendent General of Police. Okay, he got demoted, which is the second one. I think it's the second one. I just need to make sure. It's the second one. Okay, I think that's about it. Yeah. So... I don't... Okay. Let's just do it, I guess. Sakae Tamade and Yuki Kano vowed to make the show a success. I remember his statement. Tamade supported Yuki in her first songwriting project, which was then released in the studio. They had vowed to make this a success so that Yuki Kano's dream would come true. But someone like Tamade killed Yuki Kano. It's unthinkable. Tamade has no grudges nor hatred towards Yuki Kano. There's no motive for this. Rumi Matsuoka believed that Yuki Kano should have spread her wings towards the world. I remember her statement that Yuki Kano shouldn't be working in the small framework of Japan but the whole world. That's what she said, and I don't think she was lying. I believe these were her true feelings. It's hard to imagine that she would have killed Yuki Kano. Far from being jealous, Rumi Matsuoka recognized Yuki Kano's talents. Rumi Matsuoka had no motivations to kill Yuki Kano. So here's the thing about the Yuki Kano thing. I got a yellow on that. I don't know if getting... because yellow is still passable, I will say. We still passed the test with yellow. But I don't know if yellow means neutral or is it it's the actual response. I have no idea. If someone has played this game, please explain to me what yellow is, if it's neutral or something, because I have no clue. But we still passed the test overall, so don't worry. In short, the answer that can be derived from this is that the two of them were not involved in Yuki Kano's death. Literally, that's the answer. It was nobody's fault. Neither Rumi Matsuoka and SAKAE Tamade nor anyone else killed Yuki Kano. Neither of them was involved in Yuki Kano's death. But you both believe it was a murder when it really was an accident. You both care deeply for Yuki and were unable to accept her tragic fate and decided to point the finger at who you assume was the culprit.
So, Tamade assumed that Rumi Matsuoka was the culprit? And Rumi assumed SAKAE Tamade was the culprit?
I nodded deeply at SENA's words. They set up various phenomena in order to get them to confess.
Neither of you is the culprit.
How could you be so sure about this?
Right.
They both look at me in disbelief.
Because you both recognize Yuki Kano as an artist who should be active in the world of stage. You both supported her. You hated the possibility of a perpetrator taking her life away before she could achieve her goals and try to avenge her. If you really didn't love Yuki Kano, you would do such a thing. But that's not the case, so you have no motive.
No further explanation is needed. SAKAE Tamade and Rumi Matsuoka look at each other as if they've been freed from their demons. It's the same expression as when they saw the strange phenomenon. The misunderstanding slowly started to clear up. And case over. I know, it's unexpected. And so the long day comes to an end. By the time we returned to G Prefectural Headquarters, it was already past midnight. I went up to the roof and looked down at the poorly lit cityscape through the fence. After the events, both SAKAE Tamade and Rumi Matsuoka agreed voluntarily to accompany Inspector Koketsu and Detective Nimi and are currently being questioned at G Prefectural Headquarters. Although they had nothing to do with Yuki Kano's incident, they've caused such a fuss. I'm sure they will likely get some kind of punishment. Subsequently, the investigation determined that Yuki Kano's death was neither unaliving nor a murder, but an accident. It was misoperation of the suspension mechanisms, resulting in traumatic chest compression, leading to Yuki Kano's death. There was never a murder to begin with. The incident was solved, but a mystery remains. And the Blonde Prince song plays. After I had finished explaining the truth, Rumi Matsuoka came to us.
Mate, Keiji-san. There's something I don't understand. What do you mean that you don't understand? Well, I was the one who engineered the song to change during the show. But what I had prepared was a creepy synthesized song. Huh?
Apparently Rumi Matsuoka was supposed to act frightened and wary in the time of the synthesized sound. However, what we heard was the actual voice of Yuki Kano's.
In other words, Tamade, were you behind this? Was this trap set up for the same purpose?
When all eyes turned to Tamade, he shook his head dramatically.
No, you're wrong. That wasn't me. Huh? You're not lying, are you?
What
a lie at this stage! First of all, Yuki never recorded any of that song she had written herself. She was planning to perform it for the first time on the show.
What do you mean?
I was the one who set up the footage to show Yuki's image during the show. But the footage was supposed to be from the past, and the costume was also from the past. Yet the image itself actually projected with the costume for her new song, the one she wore when she died. There's no way a video of a costume for a new song could exist.
During the video check that Professor Kisaragi showed us, the costume Yuki Kano had was custom made to match her song.
I'm telling you, it's not me either. I'm not lying.
It seems like both of them are not lying. So, whose video and song is that? SENA comes up to the roof. In his hand, he had a bottle of black coffee and 2 bottles of cafe au lait.
Hey, do you like cafe au lait or black coffee?
The reason there are 2 bottles of cafe au lait is because SENA's probably reserved one for himself. So top notch. He allows me to choose either coffee. What a thoughtful guy. I suddenly had a craving for something sweet, so I went with the cafe au lait. The sweet taste spreads through my lips. It probably made me even more thirsty than usual, but I don't mind.
Perhaps Yuki Kano was trying to stop them from committing an unnecessary crime.
I speak, almost in a mumble way as I look up the stars. Only Yuki Kano knows that neither of them are culprits. She knew that both of them had supported her and are invaluable understanding people. That's why her spirit showed up, to prove that they're both innocent.
Oh my, that's...
Just kidding. Maybe that's a bit too romantic for a detective. Now, all that's left is to report the chief, and that's it.
I finish the cafe au lait in one gulp, then pick up the empty can and turn to SENA.
You know, for some reason you seem to be quite enthusiastic about this particular case. Why is that?
I forgot the date for the chief director!
What?
SENA's sudden scream made me flinch.
A special mission! A special mission! The chief director had asked me to do a favor!
So it wasn't just guarding RUMI Matsuoka? What else did he ask you to do?
Please give me an autograph illustration card from RUMI Matsuoka! Damn, I completely forgot!
What kind of person is the chief director? At this rate, the chances of RUMI Matsuoka not being charged with a crime will be acquitted about 120%. And that is it for the chapter of the idol. I'm sure you have a lot of questions wondering what the hell was that all about. But yeah, we're gonna be explaining the occult path now, and with next day Kirby, and then we'll be doing the extras. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this part of the episode of Shin Hayarigami, and let's get going to the next parts. Hey everyone, this is Next Day Kirby. Welcome back to this part of the section. Thank you guys so much for continuing to watch this video, by the way. I really appreciate it. And now we are going to be explaining this occult path of this chapter of the idol. What ends up happening in the occult path? I would say it is pretty wacky. Real wacky, and I kid you not. I really kid you not that it's really wacky. So what ends up happening for the most part is almost the same, where they go to the restaurant and they talk about urban legends, and then we also go with Professor Kisaragi and we learned about Yuki Kano's death, which is the same with the suffocation, and we see the video and everything. But then something changes, and that is the whole skirt thing. And apparently it turns out that the bloody prints, which in the scientific path said that it was ink, now in this path it says that it's Yuki Kano's bloody prints, and they are confused, like how the heck would that be possible? And so our main character wants to see the corpse of Yuki Kano herself, and so Professor Kisaragi takes them and to see the corpse, and it turns out the corpse hasn't been harmed in a way, like it hasn't been open, there are no open wounds or anything to use her blood. And so there, that's when Professor Kisaragi mentioned some kind of urban legend with the back clapping or something. I don't remember much, I'm so sorry, but apparently it could be a sign of a warning that maybe Rumi Matsuoka may be in danger. Anyways, after that, our main girl and SENA are resting at the roof of the G Prefectural headquarters, and they get this call from the chief director, and he gives them a special mission. But this time the special mission is not guarding Rumi Matsuoka again. The special mission is to capture the spirit of Yuki Kano. I kid you not. And even our main character is like, are you an idiot or something? He's like, yeah, I'm an idiot, I'm literally telling you guys to capture the spirit of Yuki Kano. And then our girl is like, and how exactly am I gonna capture the spirit of Yuki Kano? And so that's when the chief director's like, don't worry, I got it all under control. And then we see our main girl and SENA at the front entrance of the G Prefectural headquarters, and we see the blonde prince, and the blonde prince approaches them to give them some kind of item that they're gonna use to capture the spirit of Yuki Kano. Which also I forgot to mention, our main girl begins to suspect that maybe the chief director is connected to some kind of organization or something, and so it proves it even more when the blonde prince shows up, that maybe the chief director and the blonde prince have some kind of connection. We don't know what kind of connection yet, though. I do know what connection, but you obviously don't know because you're the audience watching. But anyways, point is, he brings something, a device, and this device is it is a literal vacuum cleaner, like the ones that Ghostbusters use. And yeah, that's right, you heard me. And it's like, Ghostbusters! So obviously, the two of them go on a Ghostbuster adventure. It gets so ridiculous at this point, and so the chief director wants us to capture Yuki Kano with that thing. Anyways, the point is, they go back to the studio to try to capture the spirit of Yuki Kano, and everyone and their mother is wondering if we change jobs or something because we have a vacuum cleaner. And so the first person we encounter is SAKAE Tamade, and after he asked a question about the obvious vacuum cleaner, an incident happens where the light bulbs on the top of the ceiling break out, and the glasses of nearly hurt Tamade. SENA tries to suck on the vacuum cleaner, but obviously nothing happens, and so even our character feels a bit embarrassed that they're relying on the vacuum cleaner. But anyways, Tamade still believes that Rumi Matsuoka killed Yuki Kano, and so we try to perform liars on him and confront him with some stuff, and he even admits that apparently in this part of this of the path he did not put the bloody red stain on the dress, which in the scientific path he did kind of admit it, which is weird. I don't know. Point is, the liars are doesn't work, and so we fail. And honestly, we get this little goofy scene with Detective Mimi, and even our character is like, why must put us through such trials? Because she knows that Detective Mimi is gonna be judging them even harder, and that's exactly what happened. But then the SENA was like nonchalantly saying like, oh, this was given by our chief director for a special mission, and so he's like, hey, how the hell are you gonna solve this case with that? And they don't answer his question, they just leave him to try to find Rumi Matsuoka. Anyways, once they find Rumi Matsuoka, they decide to confront her about the incident that happened with Tamade, but obviously she says that she has nothing to do with that, and that's when then we try to perform a liar's on her again, but obviously it doesn't work. And even our girl is very well aware that our main character is trying to use psychology on her, and she's like, no, it's not gonna work on me or anybody in this industry, you know? And so before she leaves, they do see another mysterious event that happens where one of the glass windows on the upper part of the floor, instead of reflecting Rumi Matsuoka properly, the reflection was moving on its own, and not following Rumi Matsuoka's footsteps, which was very weird. When Rumi Matsuoka started to freak out, SENA tries to use the vacuum cleaner again, and it doesn't work. Which then it begins to lead to our main character that it's a possibility that this isn't even an occult path, it's a scientific path, and that all of this is probably just Matsuoka and Tamade just each other trying to get one or another to confess who was the killer. Rumi Matsuoka tells them about the performance that she was going to do, and obviously our main girl knows that this is a bad idea, so she tries to get Chief Tanaka to cancel the show, but obviously he's like, no, they're not going to cancel the show no matter what, which is kind of the same. Then he says that the chief director had told him that to have her and SENA to investigate the recording studio because apparently some kind of thing happened in there, and so they begin to look around, and SENA begins to suck around until apparently they caught something. They don't know what exactly they got, but apparently they got a ghost around because the machine was doing a strange noise or whatever. The show's about to begin, and so when they see Chief Tanaka and Detective Nimi alone, they're wondering where's Inspector Kokutsu. And here's an interesting part that happened in here. Inspector Kokutsu does show up, and he's like, oh, do you guys need something? And then our girl was like saying, oh, no, we were just wondering where you were or whatever, right? But then Inspector Kokutsu begins to eye the vacuum cleaner, and not because it's odd. He begins to eye the logo of the vacuum cleaner, because the logo of the vacuum cleaner says Self-Defense Force, something about it's an American organization. And then he says, oh, you guys are the Blonde Princess pawns now, huh? I kid you not, he said that! So he knows the Blonde Prince. He probably knows the Blonde Prince is an evil dude, and he knows something. Who the hell knows? He probably has been in supernatural phenomena himself, Mr. Koketsu. I don't know! But he said that. He said that that we're literally pawns of the Blonde Prince. And after that, he just simply leaves. And it's like, what? And then after that, the concert begins. And when Rumi Matsuoka starts to sing, instead of Yuki Kano coming to interrupt the spirit, the ceiling lights, the stage light, excuse me, falls out, and it's about to fall out on top of Rumi Matsuoka, and everyone was far away, so they couldn't reach her in time, and she was already accepting her fate, so she closes her eyes, waiting for death to come to her. But then out of nowhere, an invisible force pushes the thing, and it falls somewhere else, and everyone is shocked about what happened. And then out of nowhere, an earthquake literally happens in the studio, and everyone begins to panic, and they try to calm them down, but obviously to no avail. And then after that, they begin to speculate that Yuki Kano's spirit is actually in the studio, and they think that she wants to harm them or something. SENA begins to ask our main girl, and this is a crucial choice we can make, where we can either capture Yuki Kano with the vacuum cleaner or not do anything. And we choose to not do anything and see what would happen. And that's when Professor Kisaragi shows up out of nowhere with a beautiful, sexy black dress, and she's like, you did the right choice. And so she's like, now I'm going to be taking care of this problem. And so she climbs on the stage, and she begins to explain that the spirit of Yuki Kano is trying to tell them something, but they have no idea exactly what they want to try to say, because it's very difficult to understand. So she decides to perform some sort of ritual where she would possess the body of a person, and then we will be able to communicate. For some reason, she suggested two people. One of them was Rumi Matsuoka, and for some reason, the other person to be possessed was Chief Tanaka. And I'm like, what? What on earth are you going on about, woman? Anyways, we decided to choose Rumi Matsuoka for the possession. And then the spirit of Yuki Kano apparently possesses Rumi Matsuoka. And with her, through her, we perform the Liar's Art. And we basically get the same shit that was said in the scientific path. And then through Yuki Kano, it's confirmed that it was an accident as well. So after the confirmation, that's when our main girl says about how Tamade and Rumi Matsuoka loved her so much, and that, you know, that it was time for her to move on, yada yada yada. So the spirit of Yuki Kano, before moving on, she uses Rumi Matsuoka's body once more, and she sings the whole song again of the last song. And after that, her spirit leaves Rumi Matsuoka's body. Rumi Matsuoka faints. And obviously, Rumi Matsuoka and SAKAE Tamade are still gonna get in trouble for all the mess that they caused. The next day, they hear the news pretty much about how the show Utabancho was coming to an end because they got into so much trouble with what happened that, you know, the studio got shut down. And eventually our main girl then believes, and this was something that I mentioned in this particular episode, she believes that maybe that even though Yuki Kano says that it was an accident, it's possible that a spirit might have killed her, because they announced that a dead actress had died in the studio as well a while back, and so they believe that it was possible that maybe the spirit was the one who killed Yuki Kano. Yeah, that is pretty much it. It's pretty short. What could I say? And yeah, we're gonna go back with Crescent Kirby so she can do the extras. And yeah, thank you guys for continuing to watch this. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Let's get to it. Hey guys, welcome back. We're gonna be doing the extras now. So yeah, we got 3 extras. One is from SAKAE Tamade, the other one is RUMI MATSUOKA, and the other one is MITSUKO Kisaragi. So yeah, let's get to it. Start with SAKAE Tamade. Sorry about the background noise, by the way. I'm recording this in the morning. Right, I forgot to open up the docu.
What a shame. People are dying right in front of my eyes. These were probably fans who had come to pay their respects to Yuki. And some guy jumped off a high place in an attempt of unaliving himself and killed another man in the process. The original plan was to interview the fans who had gathered in memory of Yuki and include them as part of a documentary for a memorial program, but I, SAKAE Tamade, have been working at the TV station for a long time. It's nothing to brag about, but I've been through my fair share of hardships. While interviewing a Yakuza member on the brink of a conflict, I once mistook him for an enemy thug and almost got killed. Then another time I was covering a car race and an accident occurred where I was nearly decapitated by a flying wheel.
What?
But even so, the opportunities to see human death are still few and far between. Especially seeing a corpse that has fallen and has its internal organs exposed is psychologically draining. Somebody call an ambulance! Hearing the screams of the fans who finally seemed to grasp the situation, my thoughts finally returned to normal. They all began to run away. They're dead. They're both dead. One of the victims was offering a prayer to Yuki. The fans were calling her an angel. I don't deny that. I do think Yuki is an angel as well. But then, to get his own life taken while praying to Yuki? Ridiculous. Are they planning on making Yuki an angel of death? Naturally, my anger towards them grew stronger than my discomfort at seeing the corpses or any respect for the dead. You idiot.
So that's why he said it.
Without thinking, I spat out the words. I know that's not an appropriate thing for the TV producer to say about people who just died. However, the foolishness of people who call themselves Yuki's fans have no understanding of her feels is infuriating. Huh? There are 2 people there. They're checking the pulses of the corpses. They must be police officers who are investigating Yuki's case. I don't think the camera crew recorded or filmed what I just said. Even if it did happen, I have no intentions of explaining why. Oh well, there's no point in staying here. If they use the copycat unaliving in the documentary, they will get in trouble for ethics. I'll leave it to the staff to decide and I'll return to the studio. I don't want to tarnish Yuki's names any further. The police have yet to announce the death of Yuki Kano. It's unclear whether it was unaliving, an accident, or a murder. However, there's one thing I'm certain. The murder was done by RUMI Matsuoka. RUMI Matsuoka's jealousy of Yuki Kano's popularity and fears that she will lose her position as a top idol. So she nipped the young shoots before that happened. As I continue to walk around the hallway lost in thoughts, I suddenly bump into someone. Oh, apologies. I was just lost in thoughts. What? Inspector Koketsu. This man. He looks familiar. Masaomi Koketsu. He must be around 41 years old right now. He used to be an elite detective at the Metropolitan Police Department. If he's here, then that means he's become a detective in G Prefectural Headquarters? You're Detective Masaomi Koketsu, right? Oh, right. The name's SAKAE Tamade from Owari Television's G Prefecture branch. Is there something I can help you with, Mr. Tamade? I'm on duty right now. How very formal of him. Well, I guess that's how he would treat a person who's not a criminal. This is perfect. Let's have Detective Koketsu fill in the gaps of the project that was ruined by some stupid fans. Yes, actually, I'm looking for a detective for an interview. This would save me a lot of trouble. If it's about a crime, it's best to use. If it's about a crime, it's best to use the PR department. I don't have the authority to disclose information. No. I really wish to ask a detective. If I miss this now, it will be a disgrace as a producer in the industry to get a story out of him. Masaomi Koketsu. I should point out that incident of his. Wow. Still, it's amazing to see the legendary detective in a place like this. The rumors have been going around for a long time, Detective. I've always wanted to meet you. I never thought my wish would come true so soon. The elite of elites of G Prefectural Police, an ace among the career officers, and who climbed the ranks of the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department's first investigative division. But you got expelled because you caused trouble, right? I'm aware of that. Of how you used to be so violent against suspects, particularly gun violence. I wonder what's happened to you, Detective. I'm sure you better cause a lot of trouble and entertain us for a long time if you were still the old you. Suddenly, a shout threatening to punch me comes. Oh great, just when I had something I could use for material! Hey you! Stop messing with him, or I will pummel you! This is the part! Out of nowhere, a delinquent bursts in. Why is there a delinquent in the TV station? No, wait. This man. I feel like I recognize him. Surely he was one of the two people who had been at the scene of the unaliving incident earlier. The clothes matched the man I remember. As for the hairstyle, I wasn't sure about it before, but I think it was like that. I thought for sure he was a detective, but maybe he's not. Ah, there's our girl! The woman was the one who was checking the corpse's pulses earlier, and she talks to Inspector Koketsu. In other words, she's a female detective. So this pompadour delinquent is being taken away by the female detective. Oh dear, Detective Koketsu has left. So I'll shift my attention to these two new people. They look interesting as well. Hey, what's going on here? Who are you guys? Are you acquaintance of Detective Koketsu? It's an obvious question, but let's start there. I want to know what this delinquent's done. And look at our girl, she's so kawaii! So that's what happened. So SAKAE Tamade was being a bit of a with Inspector Kokuzu just to make a documentary about Yuki Kano. That's what we get. Anyways, let's go with Rumi Matsuoka.
Before the live broadcast, I, Rumi Matsuoka, was already dressed in my costume, and I was waiting for the show to start. Live broadcasting. A one-shot deal is something I never get used to, no matter how much experience I have. If I fail, it's all over. It's not because I'm going to embarrass myself, but in some cases, this could lead to a loss of credibility. An intense tension grips my stomach. The creaking sensation in my internal organs increases as the performance approaches. It's a feeling that's hard to understand for those who've never been on stage. But normally this is no big deal. A good amount of tension is essential for success. But this time, there's another factor at play. Strange phenomena has been happening on multiple occasions. I'm partially involved with it, of course.
Ah, see? It confirms it.
But even so, it's something I didn't intend to happen. And I'm quite confused by it myself. First, the bloody handprint. I didn't really know what was that all about. I don't want to believe it's Yuki's ghost, but I would at least notice my dress before wearing it. There shouldn't have been any handprints like that on them. When did this happen? While I was talking to the detectives? That's impossible. Next, Poltergeist. The instructions for that were something I had asked a staff member I knew to do so. However, if the equipment were to hit someone, it could cause a major disaster. Even if Tamade is a no-good guy, it's obviously not okay to kill him. So I gave instructions to drop it somewhere far away, just to scare him away. That was all. However, what actually happened was that the equipment flew towards Tamade. After that, I checked and found out the staff member didn't do anything. So, who could have done it? And there's that Kamaitaichi incident that detective mentioned. I was hit by a strong wind in the studio and all of a sudden I felt cuts all over my body. It only took me a moment to figure that someone had placed a fan. I'm sure it was SAKAE Tamade, but a blower with Kamaitaichi. When I think about Kamaitaichi, I often hear about whirlwinds. But can a fan really create something like that? There's more. The spirits. The will-o-wisp. I had asked another staff member I knew to hang a ghost-like device on the stage. However, far more than those small spirits appeared, and what had been intended as a slight scare escalated into a major commotion. Of course, it's just like the Poltergeist incident. This also happened without the knowledge of the staff I had asked to look after. And the icing on the cake was the mass fainting. I remember hearing a staticky noise, but then the next thing I knew, I was lying on the floor and being picked up by the detective. It turns out that everyone who had been on stage had fainted, including myself. The sound itself was Tamade's doing. Or maybe the sound engineer just made a mistake, but it was still enough to make someone faint. Maybe. Just maybe. Is there some kind of occult phenomenon in this studio? To be honest, I've appeared on ghost shows before, but I don't believe in ghosts or the occult. How do you explain all the strange things that's happened so far?
Rumi, please stand by!
I hear a voice calling out to me. Even though the real thing's just around the corner, I'm filled with anxiety. This is the first time I've ever felt this way. I can't help but think that something's going to happen during the performance. I sense something different than before. Anxiety turns into fear, like it's attacking me. A cold, white hand crawling up to my throat and strangling me. I've been called. I must go. Because I'm Rumi Matsuoka, the top idol. I can't shake off this feeling though. A bad feeling's overwhelming me. I have to go.
Rumi, how do I relieve the tension before a performance?
Huh? Yuki? Yuki's voice? Why? Yuki's already an auditory hallucination? This is so not funny. Am I just tired? Is my brain fried? Am I trying to escape this reality? Still, it's a way to relieve the tension before a performance. That's quite a nostalgic topic. It's... just pray. Yes, pray. I don't have any particular religion's learnings, so I'm not praying to God or Buddha. So what are you praying for? I remember Yuki asking that. Of course, it's up to you. Whether we succeed or fail is merely a result of our actions. There's no point in blaming others for your own failures. To succeed, you must believe that you can succeed and work hard to succeed. The reason why I'm feeling uneasy isn't because of the strange phenomenon. It's simply because I lack confidence in myself. But it's fine. I'm Rumi Matsuoka, a top idol. I won't fail. Never have, and never will. First off, I'm going to sing Yuki's final song, so if I hesitate, I won't be able to face Yuki. Let's go. Hallucinations or not, for Yuki, who's gave me the courage to stand up. And let's pray to make this show a success.
Damn, that was a lot. That was a lot. So this is what Rumi Matsuoka was feeling before the stage, huh? I can definitely understand the anxiety. But anyways, let's check out Professor Kisaragi. Well. Scientific investigation is important in this case. But I also need to demonstrate my true abilities as a witch. What? I, Mitsuko Kisaragi,
am the director of the Crime Research Institute, a member of a family of shrine maidens who also have some slightly mysterious abilities. What do I mean by this? Well, I can feel things that are not normal and see things no one else can. And what am I talking about specifically? Psychic powers, of course. She has psychic powers! Whoa! When I was a student, I hated seeing things like that. But once I got used to their existence, I quickly found them to be quite useful. That's especially true for criminal investigations like the one I'm doing now. If the death of a person is involved, then the spirit of that person is present. Even if it's not, it's possible to infer the outline of the incident from the grudges or regrets containing the person's hair. She's literally the missing character of Spirit Hunter! I love her! Unfortunately, psychic abilities aren't counted as evidence. That's why, as the director of Forensic Science Laboratory, usually listens to the voices of the dead from a position other than psychic powers. However, in this case, it might be better to make my psychic powers more proactive. I'll be honest, the reason I've come here is because I can really sense that something bad is coming from this TV station. It's not just the spirit of Yuki Kano. I sense a lot of other grudges and regrets as well. For example, just around the stage, there's the spirit of an actress who was hit and fell on the spotlight during rehearsal. That's the actress that was mentioned in the occult pad, by the way. Next, a senior who's jealous of a woman's success and was forced to carry drugs and got arrested. Another ghost idol who threw away her career and her life. The other one is... the ghost of a child who was successful as a child actor, but unalive himself due to the exploitation by his parents and bullying. Aww. It's very sad indeed. Oops, I shouldn't. I don't want to investigate these people. I just want to focus on Yuki Kano.
Honestly, if Professor Kisaragi would have been more clear on why the situation happened in the first place, we could have done this spirit hunter type of thing where we would figure out each grudge and regret of each of these spirits and do it in in NG with the Demon Tsukuyomi, where we give something that each spirit wanted. In that sense, that would have been a much more interesting episode than what we got here, which is why I don't like this episode as much as I would have wanted to. Even though it does have emotional moments, and it gets to my Kokoro, it's not as good as you would have expected. I mean, that's my personal opinion anyways. Okay, where the hell was it?
The reason why I'm looking for Yuki Kano is because, well, the answer is simple. To tell us who's the culprit. Even though the cause of death is still unclear, whether if it was unaliving, murder, or accident, which is still a concern, right? I could talk to the victim directly, so why not just do it? It seems reasonable, right? In a mystery novel, this would be illegal, but this is the real investigation. We need to find out the truth quickly. Yuki Kano. Oh no, I was so distracted by the other spirits that I might have lost her. Maybe this way. Nah, it's the same spirit from that actress. If so, here. Something's happening here. No, it's the spirit of that child actor from before. Oh, there's just too many spirits. Because of that, I can't find the one I'm looking for. Aha! Found it!
What are you doing? You've been wandering around here for a while now.
Oh, it's Masaomi. What do you mean? I'm just trying to find Yuki Kano and have her tell me who the culprit is.
Stop joking around.
I'm not joking. Though, Masaomi doesn't believe in the occult, so I guess it can't be helped.
Come on, you're almost 40. This whole witch and spirit stuff. Why don't you just settle it down already?
How rude. How rude. How rude. I'm 18 forever, you know? And there's no way I'm going to settle down. Hips are meant to be shaken, you know?
Oh my god! So you keep reminding.
What a boring reaction. If I told something like this to SENA, he would have given a funny reaction with his face completely red. Well, Masami would probably push him away and say something like, "Get the hell out of here, Aizen." So, what can I do for a change?
You've heard about the strange happenings at the TV station, right?
Yes. I heard that SAKAE Tamade and RUMI MATSUOKA are being targeted. I think SAKAE Tamade's was the shattering fluorescent light, and RUMI MATSUOKA's representing her past self in a mirror.
I want to know your thoughts on that.
What does this mean? My opinion, as the director of the Crime Science Laboratory, if that's the case, then I'm assuming Natty hasn't figured it out yet? In that case, SAKAE Tamade, it was a trick using materials that are sensitive to heat. In the case of Rumi, it was a prank that used a project that she didn't know about. It was all tricks.
Makes sense to me. In fact, the fluorescent lights are now made of glass but a polymer resin. I heard testimony that the projector was also ordered by SAKAE Tamade.
But would it really go that smoothly?
True. The fluorescent lighting was too convenient, and as for the projector, the instructions were to project a completely different image.
Even though the form was designed to crack due to thermal degradation, the timing of the cracking is just too perfect. The latter is unintended phenomenon in the first place. I mean, this is what he's asking, right? It's possible that there's something non-scientific at the work here. Oh? You're denying it?
I'll just listen.
Oh? Have you changed your mind?
It's not that. But if there are any signs of danger, we need to stop this live broadcast.
Is it possible the kids from Tokuso are influencing Masaomi too?
We cannot ignore the warning signs and allow civilians to be injured, whatever those signs may be.
This is Masaomi we're talking about after all. He just wants the good opinion of a police officer. Well, whatever. He usually interrupts me so rudely. So today, I'll film Masaomi with occult discussion. As for Yuki Kano, I don't sense any grudges or regrets from her, so I don't think she'll interfere with the live broadcast. But as for the other spirits, our problem, we need to work a little behind the scenes to weaken the grudge here so that no harm comes to SAKAE Tamade and RUMI MATSUOKA. Well, there are some things. Well, looks like it's going to be busy! Time to show my true colors as the witch of the forensic science lab. So yeah, this is exactly what happened. So basically the studio has a bunch of spirits of other people who have died, and so these spirits are still roaming around the studios filled with grudges and regrets. And so this is what led me to believe that a spirit might have killed Yuki Kano, because there's no way she would die just like that. So it must have been caused by the other spirits. Even though in the occult path she herself confirms that it's an accident, and even in the scientific path we confirm that it was an accident, it's possible that a spirit was the one who killed her this whole time. And all of the crazy phenomena that were happening were caused by Rumi and SAKAE, but their plans would derail because I guess the spirits would also mess around and try to make the situation much more worse than it intended to be. So that is basically what happened, and I wish they would have used that more better. I wish the episode would have been more about us exploring
the studio and learning more about the other spirits, and maybe, like I said, do a Demon Tsukuyomi style where we help each spirit and give them what they want or find a way to set them free instead of what we got. What we got was fine, though again, it's not my favorite chapter anyways. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this chapter of the idol. We're gonna continue on with the next chapter, which is going to be an even more wackier chapter. I am not joking, but it's more fun than this one, I would say. And I'm going to be doing the fourth chapter with my brother. We're going to be collabing on that one together because it is going to be so funny, and having two people to add more funny commentary to such a funny episode, I think it would be kind of interesting. Anyways, yeah, that is pretty much it for this chapter. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you really did enjoy it, drop the like button. It really helps a lot. If you're not subscribed to the channel, would appreciate if you do. Also leave your comments and your thoughts on this video or anything in general. And yeah, that is pretty much it, my lovelies. Love you all. Appreciate you. And we'll be seeing you in the next one. Goodbye!